I'm getting there.
I was going to bring something up. What did I say? I don't know.
You wanted to tell us something?
Before you close the meeting.
I think there are a couple of things that we can add to these mini lists. Oh, I know what I wanted to say. Your $2 million reserve is not unrealistic, but for what purpose?
That's what when you get to study, that's when you know your purpose.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
See, the way it is now,
We're not asking you to spend anything.
the way it is now, we have to buy our equipment.
Over and above.
The way it is now,
This is the
we
main
buy our
charge.
equipment, we pay for our training, we pay for, it costs me gas money to drive back and forth, it costs me gas money to go to a fire school. It's starting to cost money for it. And people don't want to volunteer anymore. Volunteerism is dying all over the world. Okay? You used to have volunteer ambulance services, and you will not find one right now in Pennsylvania. And it's going to happen. It's going to be a long process, but you're going to see the volunteer fire service die. And it's going to die a brutal death. Because there's a lot of people out there that want to hold on to their, and the only thing is now, it's my identity. Okay?
And yeah.
It's my father started this fire department years and years ago, my grandfather, we're not going to give it up for no. Well, they're going to have to wind up, well, you can have a fire station, but if you can't man it. This happened in Prince George County, Maryland, years and years ago. Prince George County, the county came in and said, look, you can have your fire station, you can have your volunteers, but we're taking over and we're going to man them. And they did it and it worked. There was a big ruckus over it. That's what happened. Safety came first.
So I added a couple of things. One thing that I just added was that $30,000 a year for volunteers,
Yeah,
so to speak.
that'd be like 10,000 at the park. Yeah, I mean, that's what we
That's
figured.
nothing really, but it's something maybe a little bit. But the $2 million reserve may not be so difficult, and this is the reason I'm saying this. We now have a reserve account of $700,000 that's never been touched. And it's been recommended that we keep that $700,000 in reserve.
For a rainy day, sure.
Yeah, for a rainy day. Is this a rainy day we're talking about?
It's getting cloudy, but it's not raining.
Maybe a big step at first.
Well,
I don't think that's what it's intended for. I think we would have to.
perhaps.
Well,
Well,
you know,
when
we're
they
kind of
will
funny.
start going up, then we can get some of that changed too.
Well,
Well, we need to be
happens?
careful because we can't take a windfall from that, so we have to make an adjustment. There's complications with this here.
I just bought Trace Energy, write a check to about, I don't know, 20 fire departments for a couple $100,000.
Everyone can see.
600,000.
We got $6 grand.
Oh, you got some?
Yeah.
We got 4,100 apiece.
Yeah.
41.
Yeah, we got,
41,000?
yeah, we got 12 grand among the three of us.
Yeah, 12,000.
Which North Shebang, we got what, like 60,000?
Yeah.
It's
Peter's
62,000.
got a big chunk, 20-something.
Peter Township got 28, Amwell Township got 70-something.
Yep.
And on top of that, that's what Amwell's getting a new fire truck out of that deal also.
And here's my point on the 2 million.
And they're drilling like crazy.
They're drilling like nutcases, yeah.
And that's what I was going to say.
That's good.
And Rice was generous to give us that, because Rice has nothing here in Cecil.
That's what they don't realize.
Yeah, they got their
The
headquarters.
only thing they have in Cecil is their headquarters.
So does all the other ones.
Okay, so I didn't finish
Okay,
on the
go ahead.
2 million. What I wanted to say is this, it's not much, but we've paid off the building. That was $340,000 to $370,000
It was
a year.
$350. It was a
Mm-hmm.
one yearly payment of $300.
Yeah, well, whatever.
Yeah, right, sure.
It varied over the years, the amount was between $340,000 and $370,000. Okay, so that's now available to us.
Here's my point on that. These guys, Muse, have the only ladder truck. Square, whatever you want to call it.
And I don't consider it a ladder truck.
Right, but for their purposes, I think they
It's a real
visualize that.
big water haul, that's about it.
Yeah. Let's call it a ladder truck for this discussion.
Elevated master streamline.
It's 20 years old, right?
Yeah.
It's
No, 01.
It's 2001.
The engines,
15.
the engines.
20 years.
It's coming up on replacement time. I think the township, and if we all agree, I mean, it's their department, they can buy whatever you want, but I think we need one in the department, but I don't think we need 3.
No.
But those are the kind of things of saying,
That's
well,
why
maybe
you
the
have
time,
to-
if it comes,
We need something bigger than they have.
yes.
number one.
But he
Number
can't
two,
buy a truck and build a building, but maybe the
and there's
township.
no building
Yes.
for it, and that was one of the things with the 81 acres that we planned was for the fire department as
But-
well, a fire department.
But if we needed a truck and you wanted to migrate forward, maybe that's the first township truck ever bought. I mean, I'm just throwing this out as an example. There's 700,000 easy to $1 million for a ladder truck, one purchase.
How much?
Right?
You look
Original
at
paid
just
1.2.
paid 1.2.
Well, it's true. If
Well,
we
that's
get
a
a
platform.
Yeah, we're getting a platform. I'm talking more of a quint. Right?
Quincy million.
So, yeah. So
But,
a
you know,
one truck.
I've always been a great advocate of playing with other people's toys and then nothing out of that. I've always been an advocate of calling in other people that have the toys that I need, play with them, let them put them away and take care of it. Just like.
I'd rather pay for somebody else to keep the upkeep on them than me.
That's absolutely the way I feel about it. See, I came from the Billionaires Boys Club.
Wait a
When the
minute,
township opened up their pocketbook, my hand was in it all the time. And they bought us stuff, you know, we'd get a budget every day, they'd say, what do you want for this year? And I'd write down some stuff and, oh, no, I just don't like that. And if they bought it, I said, great, I'll take it. And I had someone that took it, I knew I never was gonna use, but I got it because I figured if I didn't buy it, they'd close the purse. But I'm not that way anymore. I'm trying to figure out, hey, this is what we need, and there's a lot of things we need. Yes, you know, do we need 3 ladder trucks? Absolutely not. But do we need one?
Yes.
That we know we get one on the scene and get
but
one
there's
there?
nowhere to put one. and
Well, I
so we're gonna
understand
overwhelm
that.
by
But
it.
like I said,
One thing at a time.
if you're gonna use a ladder truck, you
First
don't
you
want
have
it
to have
last
the
coming
land,
into the scene
put the
because
building on.
you've got all the other trucks in there, now you're trying to place a ladder truck in amongst what everything else is there.
But wait,
Ladder
first
trucks
you
have
have to
specific
have the
purposes.
land, second
Yes.
you have to have the building, and third you get the ladder truck. That's the size that you need. And therein is the problem, that's too overwhelming for me, I can't.
Well, I think we all have the land, it's just that we just need somewhere to store them while the new fire company's getting built.
I had my heart set on the 81 acres, and that was blown away, and that's completely gone. So, I don't know what we're gonna do now.
There's some nasty stuff up there.
I'm aware
That's
of
what we
that.
were told.
Yeah, so that's,
So there's no reason you can't drill on it, right?
right.
You can't disturb the ground because it'll end up in the water table and use and.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I creek in front of my house.
It's already there.
Did you ever look at that creek?
Phone's white.
It runs
It'll
white.
get worse, they say.
Used to be white.
You can't get no worse than it already is.
Careful.
No, actually, they said that it's
I
better
think
than
the
it
best thing they
was,
ever had in my trip was the flood.
because time
Because
was
there's a lot of good fish down there now.
dissipated a lot of the problem, but.
Worst thing that happened to me was it.
Anyway, is there anything else?
I'd just like to make one comment. If it comes down to, after the study, and there are any paid people, and I know we've asked this before, and it fell on deaf ears, that you would think that the board would consider the people that know Cecil, the people that know Lawrence, the people that know Muse, and know the whole township for hiring.
What did you say?
Hire from within.
I would think, how do you all feel about it?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not talking to anybody about what I just
Right,
said,
right.
but I
Makes sense
just
to me.
feel,
Makes sense to me.
I feel nobody knows Cecil like Ed does, Denny does, and
I work at Fallowfield Fire Department part-time, okay?
Yeah, I know,
You know how big Fallowfield Township is?
very small.
I've worked there for about, almost, I don't know, 8 months, okay? I know 4 streets in the whole, that's how hard it is for them to teach me where everything's at.
And I-70.
And, yep, and then the turnpike, so that's all I know.
And they're drilling like crazy in
They're
Fallowfield
nuts.
Township.
Yep, they're nuts as well.
it just makes, to me, it just makes sense to hire within the region, that everyone knows their area. I just.
There's a work in progress at Fallowfield's getting a new fire station, and I think Chesapeake got their hands in on that.
Chesapeake, how about EQ2?
They might too. But
Oh,
that's what I know, that I saw the blueprints for it. It's something like Range built up the road, Hickory.
It's not like the hazard.
Range built them a new one.
Like I said,
A new one.
we have more
Fire
fish
station.
in Cecil.
Really?
Yes.
They gotta pay for it.
Just, and let me back up for
Ginsburg
just,
is they're talking about hiring another
Yeah.
paid
Hickory got paid.
Fire truck washing.
And here's the other thing, with two things. First thing, on the fire inspections, if we go that route and get paid people, I got the whole list, I got it right in my briefcase. Mount Lebanon, when they do a fire inspection, it's by square footage, so they're recouping a lot of their money by getting these yearly fees, their yearly permits, and doing their yearly inspections. It's not free, so that does cut down the cost of just the fire tax. So they do generate revenue from that.
Who is that you're talking?
Mount Lebanon.
Mount Lebanon.
I do have their fee for services, I got all that, and there's.
Go out to other communities and ask what they're doing. Don't try to reinvent the wheel.
And Peter's website's really good, they have all their stuff
I know that
on.
manager pretty well. I'm gonna
And,
try to give him a call.
But like Cindy, in a perfect world, before, say, this discussion happened, just to me as fire chief for Lawrence, my perfect world, we have 5 people 24/7. And that's an incident commander, an engineer, and 3 people to do an entry. Because right now, Cindy, if you think you get 3 people, someone's going in to rescue the baby on the top floor, they're not. They're there to put the fire out and keep it from spreading to the neighbor's house. You got to have young guys.
Mutual aid comes in before you make an entry.
Yeah, 3 people's
It's
not
2
enough to
in,
go do an interior
2 out.
firefight.
You don't go in one guy.
I ran a report on 331 calls we had. We're having about 4.6 guys a call in use. But having said that, from the alarm to the first apparatus on scene, we're making it there in less than 5 minutes. We got fast response. But, like you said, you got 5 people, you kind of live on what you can do until everybody else gets there. And everybody's getting there all about the same time, too. I mean, we're all.
Like I said, when I first started out, it was 2 of us in the morning.
Well,
We get a hospital in the morning, it was 2 of us. I was going out driving, there was a guy beside us. We got to the scene.
So the final
What
thing
could we do? I got the
say-
truck and pumped, both of us went inside the building and left an empty truck outside.
here,
And
so,
hope nothing happened to the truck.
she wants it.
Final thing I want to say to you is gas companies will come in and do all the things that you're talking about and more with our roads, with fire departments, and they've been wonderful. When you go to the polls, vote for candidates that support gas drilling. That's all I'm telling you.
One last thing on the agenda from last thing though. You talked about generators for us and we all got bids, so I don't know what happened with that.
You know, that went.
Nothing.
I never saw them though.
We turned-
Again, with Januso, 6 months ago.
Well,
Mine's 35,000.
I've tried to get
Greg never did ours.
put on the,
I asked
He was gonna be my second quote. He never came out.
We never, I never got an
He was
email.
working directly
I mean, I still have
put
it.
on the
about what they were
agenda,
doing.
old business.
Yeah.
It
I
didn't
just
work.
wondered if you got.
We keep
But I'll
getting,
bring this up and I'll do
we
it
keep
every
getting our,
month.
Elizabeth and I keep getting stuff ripped off the agenda and we don't find out until that.
I didn't know you did.
See, in the fire service, we all do unfinished business. That's why when we watch your reports, like, because then you kind of be like, you feel like a jerk because you're always asking the same things, but it's not on the agenda. We get told you're working on it, you don't want to be a nag, but on the other
I get stuff
hand,
put on the
things
agenda
disappear.
and then we
Tell
get
me
a
you
phone
sent
call
stuff
meaning
to
that
John
day saying it was
yourself,
taken
never
off.
saw or heard a thing. Know nothing about it.
Chairman's
And
prerogative.
I will bring this up.
Tommy had asked Greg to do it,
Question one.
to do that, our estimate on our generator.
And he never, well,
And
Greg never did it.
Greg never did it. So I asked him about 2 weeks ago. He said, I said, well, put it on your radar.
And from,
I mean, clearly we didn't get them, so you're not too late if we
Right.
can get them.
and, I mean, it goes with Paul, from the emergency management perspective, we talk about that a lot too, because that falls under our hat a lot too. That would give you 3 other stations beside this. It has, generator in case of emergency, another Hurricane Ivan or something, we can put people up for the night or,
Last year's election,
Yeah.
we're electing at our station, the power board.
Someone hit a pole or whatever.
I'm running around like crazy trying to get power up there so they can have the voting machines work.
Oh, I remember
Hey,
that.
did you see in the paper where they listed, as
Oh,
Spanish
Paul
church?
just told me, absolutely not. It was
Yeah,
approved.
I-
We got a letter.
I seen it.
That's just a disgrace.
It's that, you need to call the Observer and make them do a retraction, or a correction. It says Spanish Church, the address, and not the.
Well, that would be, I mean, voter elections probably gave them the
Yeah.
wrong information.
Yeah.
But you're right.
But I seen that today in the paper.
One thing to
You
clarify
gonna call them?
I'll call.
is you have the note there.
Who are you
I'm
gonna
gonna
call?
call Observer and voter elections.
Okay.
You have the note about talking with Bruce about the fire department's getting called before the permit.
Absolutely.
We need to know before a building permit's issued, so that we can address issues like we had at the reserves with where the fire hydrants are located.
Yeah, I think.
And then we need a second call before an occupancy permit.